Hey, how you doing? This is Martin, owner and trainer of Fuller Fitness, and with this video is for anyone who thought about it, um, thought about doing certain things or struggling with doing certain things. And what I mean by that is anyone who thought about going vegan or struggling with being vegan. Um, and that also depends on what your goal is as far as being vegan. So as far as being vegan for me, my focus is on strength training. 38 years old, thought about being vegan. Excuse me, that's the seasonal coughing that I got going on. Sorry about that. Thought about being vegan, man, I think years before I actually did it, but I didn't know enough about it. So I looked into it. Kept trying to figure out whether or not I was going to be vegetarian or vegan, going back and forth and trying to make sure I understood which was which and what, how, and why I was going to do it. Um, and then once I decided which one I was going to do, which is vegan, I was and am excited about it. Um, when I got started, I knew very little about what I can eat. But I did it anyway out of the excitement of feeling better, um, the possibility of feeling better, looking better, um, and I can't remember what else I was interested in feeling at that time because I was like 31, maybe 32 years old, so that was at least 6 years ago. Uh, so now, so then I started it and I was feeling good. But I still didn't know enough about what I can eat compared to what I shouldn't eat, excuse me, as a vegan. So I stopped so that I didn't keep eating the little bit that I was eating. Learned quite a bit more. I can't remember where I got the information in terms of what I can eat and how to prepare it, but I learned more about what I can eat, how to prepare it, the different combinations of stuff that I can eat and what I can put on it and stuff like that as far as seitan, tofu, um, tempeh. I found vegan snacks by accident as far as for anyone who likes beef jerky. One, I was starting to fall out of favor with beef jerky anyway. And then two, once I became vegan, knowing that I'm not doing beef jerky, I accidentally found vegan jerky, which I'm glad I found because it felt better, tastes better, um, and was just better for me in terms of how I felt while I was eating it and how I felt after the fact. And then another lie that people, and again, maybe it is for certain people, but for me, it's a lie that a lot of people have heard in terms of losing muscle and losing strength. I'm not sure who came up with that lie. I'm not sure how or why someone came up with that lie, but it is not true as far as you losing muscle or losing strength as a vegan. In fact, as a 38-year-old vegan, I've been lifting loads that I wasn't sure I would be able to lift, especially to lift certain loads without hurting myself. So whoever came up with that lie decades ago or however long ago it was, I would like to meet that person and personally slap that person for lying like that. I don't know if that was just a preference in terms of telling that, or that person wasn't eating enough as far as vegan. So again, usually when you hear certain things, it's just based off of the dislike that certain thing people have with certain things and certain people. So they're more than willing to make up some bullshit and tell it to people with high hopes. People are that people believe it, and unfortunately, it seems very easy for people to believe certain things. So hopefully, at this point, depending on how long you have seen some of my videos, any of my videos, I've been vegan for almost 3 years. And some of the stuff that I've done, actually, a lot of the stuff, excuse me, like I said, seasonal cough. A lot of the stuff that I've lifted this year that you've seen me doing here, for those who have seen some of the videos, of me lifting certain things. When I did 125 or 128 or whatever it was on here, as far as the video here, I did that for the first time. When I did 133 incline, I did that for the first time. When I did 135 incline chest press, I did that for the first time. And I was 37 and 38 years old this year when I did it. So again, this isn't to bash anyone's idea, depending on what the idea is. Unless the idea is that either you heard or read that vegans lose muscle and can't be strong. That's a damn lie. And if that is true for certain people, that's probably because they're not eating and drinking enough of certain things, putting enough carbs in their body. I know carbs have been talked about as being bad for a long period of time, but depending on what you're doing, they're actually good for you, especially as a vegan, because our stuff is limited with protein, not necessarily with carbs, but there's not necessarily a lot of carbs in our stuff. So it just depends on how much we eat and or drink. So again, for those who who probably have nothing better to do than to say that what I'm saying is not true. Um, again, as far as the strength stuff, look through my videos and see, the different loads that I lifted that I did, that I didn't lift before, and that's not being on steroids or I definitely didn't have a spotter. You should definitely see that by watching my videos. And it's just me being a 38-year-old vegan with decades of experience and the craziness and interest to lift certain loads, especially for me to be here in my apartment by myself, unless you include my kitty and my dog. But for me to be the only human in here and to be lifting those loads without a spotter and usually not getting hurt, except for the one time a few months ago, and I'm still recovering from that. So again, you can be vegan. I believe you should be vegan because you'll feel better, perform better, and it's just better for all of us, in my opinion. So this isn't to convince anyone who wasn't in, or just this is for those who were tempted by it. Because again, when I don't remember how I just suddenly got the interest to do it, other than I think I was in my early 30s and just wondering, all right, what should I do different in my 30s compared to what I was doing at any point in my 20s, and we all do that. So that was me doing that, and then here I am at least 6 years later, almost 7 years later. I'm actually a almost 3 year vegan, and lifting loads that I hadn't lifted in my 20s. Wasn't sure if I can lift, especially to do it without getting hurt. So again, if you were curious, tempted, wondering, whatever the case may be, I believe you should give it a try. Start slowly, depending on how much I thought I was going to miss cheese. I did not and do not miss cheese. I was worried about drinking almond milk compared to the milk from cows. I thought the almond milk was gonna taste awful. It tastes and feels better in terms of being able to drink it, whether I have snacks with it or not. I can drink the milk by itself. I started off with chocolate to make sure, chocolate almond milk to make sure. And like I said, you just feel better, and it should be obvious once you eat and drink certain things, pretty much anything. As a vegan, you should feel better. You should notice that you don't feel sleepy, fat, feel like you just gained a bunch of weight, um, feeling as if it's hard to move, hard to sleep, hard to use the bathroom, and just all these other issues that people have that aren't vegan. So I know it's going to be hard to do because some people have nothing better to do. But again, the goal is not to argue with anyone. And then for those who are bored enough to try to do that with me, I won't hesitate to block you. Um, and it's not because I'm against anybody having a different opinion. So if you have a different opinion, go for it. But depending on how disrespectful or stupid it is, you are, I should say, I will avoid it to the best of my ability because I don't need. Again, I'm 30 years old. I'm not a little kid, and I'm not going back and forth with anybody, depending on what it is and what's being said. So if you were interested or tempted or not succeeding as a vegan just yet, for those who are already started that journey, hopefully this helped you at least a little bit. This is Marton, owner trainer, full of fitness. Take care.